Hey there, boys and girls, welcome back to Indian Motorcycle of El Cajon's YouTube channel. So in this video, we're gonna be talking about the ride command. Now specifically, this ride command is on the Chief models,
The new 2025 Scout,
and the FTR models. This is your 4-inch ride command display. This is not a video on the 7-inch display that you'll find on the Chieftains and the Challengers, the Roadmasters and the Pursuits. If you wanna see that video, it's on our channel. Click the link right here and go ahead and explore everything that has. This, however, is on the 4-inch display. So let's get started. First thing you're gonna see when you turn your bike on is the Indian Motorcycle logo. All the ride command systems are gonna have the Indian Motorcycle logo. And next is going to be your warning display, just saying to pay attention to the road. You can either press OK, or after a couple seconds, it goes away. So before I get into the gauges and the different options here, let me just tell you about some of the lights that you could possibly see around the side of the gauges. So over here on the left side, you might see brights. Underneath that, if you had a low battery voltage, you'd have a battery voltage light. Underneath that, if the bike was not connected to a key fob, you would see a red shield with a key in the center of it. I'll go over the passcode stuff here in a little bit. Underneath that, of course, your ABS light, and then underneath that, cruise control. On the right-hand side, there is a low fuel light. Of course, your green neutral. Underneath that, you could have a check engine light, and then underneath that would be a chassis fault light. This little guy is your side stand. That's telling you your side stand is down. So those are just some indicators that would possibly show up on the side. For your gauges, you're gonna have two different options. Okay, they consider this standard. This is your standard screen. So you have your tach meter down below, you have your miles per hour up top, ambient temperature, you've got your directionals, right now it's pointing north, gear indicator, your odometer, your fuel gauge, just a lot of information on one screen. So if you swipe this over, this is what they call the analog sport, imitate an analog display. So you have your tach meter up top, you have a big giant digital miles per hour, and then your gear indicator. You do have your ambient temperature, you do have your directionals. The one thing this does not have is your fuel, obviously. So take your pick, whatever you prefer to have. You can swipe it, you can tap it, it's up to you. Now let's get into what's called your app tray. This is going to show all the different screens that you could have on your ride command. We just touched over gauges, pretty simple, really not a whole lot of stuff, just choose what you prefer to see. Let's go into bike information. So bike information, you're going to have ambient temperature up there, you're going to have your battery voltage, of course. You're going to have your average fuel economy and your average fuel range. And if this had TPMS, you would have your tire pressure for your rear and front also on display. Keep in mind, by the way, that even though I'm not on the gauge, you still have a digital miles per hour up top, as well as a gear indicator. So no matter what you choose to look at, you can always tell your speed. That's a good thing. And you can also reset your average fuel economy, so keep that in mind. Next in the app tray is going to be ride information. So ride information, this is where it starts communicating with your ride command app. And quite literally it's showing you your ride time, your time moving, your time stopped, your distance, and your elevation change. Up here are these 3 dots. You can pause this individual ride, you can start a new ride. This is just to track what you're doing. Next is going to be your map. I think this is probably one of the coolest features. So much information jam-packed into 4 inches, it's really nice. So map works just like every other map you've seen. You can move everything around. Zoom in, you can zoom out. You still have your miles per hour up top, and you can change your directional. You have a 3D north, you have a always north, and then whatever direction you're individually pointed out. Here's going to be your search engine. So you can search individual addresses and gas stations. You can set your home, save addresses, of course your recent. When you click on more, this is just going to be a quick connection to tourist attractions, landmarks, banks, or you can set your favorite Indian motorcycle dealer. Anyway, one thing I want to point out with the search engine is it's not just actual addresses, it's actual points of interest. So if you were to type in something, I don't know, let's say pizza, just for example, it's going to show you all the locations that are nearby that sell pizza. Pretty easy, right? Once you click on one, say, okay, I want to go there. Give it a couple seconds to load up. First, it's just going to show you the travel. Then you say start, and you're on the move. And then up here, you could even get the turn-by-turn directions. It's a pretty smart system, I'm not gonna lie. If you want to cancel it, same thing. You go up here, you can press end navigation, move on with your life, find a different pizza spot, whatever. Next on the list is music. Now obviously there's no speakers on these bikes, they're too small, but this is going to be for your Bluetooth in your helmet. So right now my phone is already paired to the Ride Command system. It's showing me exactly what's playing. On my left control, I do have a volume button. I can go up in volume, down in volume. I can go forward in song, back in song. It's a music button, not a volume button. But you have full control without taking your hands off of the grip, which is really, really nice. Aside from Bluetooth, you have a secondary source of USB. In this example, with the Chief, it's going to be in front of the tank way down here. And if it was an FTR, it would be right about here, connected to the Ride Command itself. Up here you'll see an additional plus. That's in case you want to pair to your helmet or secondary helmet or whatever your situation is that you need to pair to. Next is going to be phone. Pretty self-explanatory. So you've got your recents, you've got your contacts, you've got your phone, and you've got your messages. Right now I don't have it sharing messages for an obvious reason. But everything's there. All the information is there. You can play with it as you need. Now, aside from the app tray, you have your controls. Your controls are going to give you your ride modes, Tour, Standard, and Sport. And then you can adjust your brightness or set it on auto. With your ride modes, you can switch this on the fly. Just make sure when you press the button, you release the throttle for it to actually engage. More on ride modes when I talk about the actual bike and what they do. And if this was an FTR, you would have a button right here to turn off your traction control.
Next, let's go over all of the settings.
So first off, you're going to have general information. Things like your VIN number, your model number, your software, your current software, odometer, and extra oil change. Nothing too crazy. Your general settings is going to start with your display. So changing your brightness like I showed you before, or even setting up between day mode and night mode. I'm going to keep it on auto for now. The account, this is where you connect to the Ride Command app. So it's going to ask for your email as well as your password. And what's going to happen is all this information you see on your Ride Command is going to be shown on your app. So things including your odometer, your trips, your fuel level, your battery, your next oil change, everything right there on your phone. Bluetooth devices, pretty self-explanatory. What devices are currently connected and connecting to another one. Language and units, if you need to change the language or change the unit. And this is what it looks like when somebody's calling you. All right, sorry about that. Let's get back into it. So system information, your firmware, your serial number, device ID, all of the specifics that you'll probably never need, but it's there for you. Connected services is the active subscription. I'm going to show you what that is here in a moment. The option to update your software, and then the option to update your maps. That's all going to be in your general settings. Then you get into time settings, setting up your time zone from the GPS system or your own specific time zone, and for those military, 24-hour format. Vehicle settings. This is where it gets more fun. First and foremost, cylinder deactivation. For those that don't know, for the Chiefs, the FTRs, Challengers, Chieftains, almost everything on the floor, when your bike gets to its peak engine temperature, it activates cylinder deactivation. That means when you come into a stop in either first, neutral, or second, the rear cylinder will stop firing. This helps with fuel economy. This helps keeping the heat off of your leg. Great for a inner city traffic scenario. And then once you throttle it back out, cylinder kicks back on, you keep moving, you're good to go. If you don't like that, you can turn it off. But it's a great feature to have. Passcode unlock. So these bikes come with a key fob, and by the way, this will not be on the FTR section, but the Chiefs come with a key fob. If you don't have that key fob, you can set a passcode, 4-digit passcode, to give you access to the bike. That allows you to start the bike, ride the bike, and do everything without the actual key fob. Your dealership should be setting up that passcode for you. If you don't know how to do that, I can post another video on it. You do need to have your key fob with you to set the actual passcode. Diagnostics, if there's ever an issue with the bike, if it throws you any codes, it'll show them right there. You can see what's going on. Oil life service, this is where you reset your oil. Automatic power down, so something I've had to mess with this whole time. Basically, if the bike is on for too long without being turned on, it'll just shut down the whole system, which is generally a good thing so you don't kill your battery. And then on the very, very bottom, tire pressure monitoring. So to touch back real quick on the connected services subscription, if you go into map and you press these 3 buttons, you'll see an option for map layers, rides and places, import and export. This is where you can import or export those rides that you have saved. But the map layers themselves, traffic and weather overlay, this is an active subscription. The navigation itself is not a subscription. It comes with the bike. But if you want these overlays, you got to have that subscription. Something else I want to point out is this guy down here. This is your icon bar. So it's going to show you everything from headset connection. If I had a Bluetooth connected, it would show right there. Whether or not there's active cruise control, your cell signal strength, you can see the cell signal right there. The time, of course, it would show your ride mode if you change your ride mode to anything, and then whatever little indicators. I keep turning this bike on without actually turning on the motor, so it keeps showing me a low oil level. But just a quick notification bar is basically what that is, which is really nice. So there you go. There's your step-by-step walkthrough on the 4-inch Ride Command display. Again, this is specifically for the Chief, the Dark Horse models, the Chief Limited models.
The new 2025 Scout.
And your FTR Carbon or your FTR Sport. Hopefully it's on other models in the future, who knows, but it'll be exciting to see. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like. If you want to see other things on Indian motorcycle and everything that we have to offer, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. And if there's anything you would like for us to review or go over or just explain further that you're not getting either online or at your own dealership, let us know. Leave a comment. I'm more than happy to go step by step through everything in this entire store. But for now, again, hope you enjoyed. Okay, love you. Bye.